At 09:17 a.m. on 12th of April 2023, every parent in the quiet town of Summerfield believed their children were safe. The classroom door opened, the lesson began, and 15 minutes later, the teacher locked eyes with the police officer standing in the doorway. What happened in those next 5 minutes changed everything. This is not the story you think, because the teacher behind the chalkboard had been hiding something. And when it exploded, the whole town fell silent. In this episode of Whisperverse, the day the school fell silent, we go behind closed doors at Summerfield Primary School. You'll hear how a beloved teacher's secret life collided with a community's worst nightmare. You'll see how investigators uncovered a trail of deception so twisted it reads like fiction, and yet every part was real. Stay until the end, because the twist they found in the teacher's past will leave you asking, could this happen again? Summerfield is the kind of town where people still stop for each other. On the morning of 12th April, the sun rose gently above the playground, birds chirped, and parents waved their children goodbye. Meet Helen Carter, 37 years old, a primary school teacher at Summerfield Primary for 10 years. Kind, dependable, part of the PTA, beloved by students. Behind the scenes, though, Helen's life looked different. Divorce finalized 2 years earlier. Late nights at work, a stack of counseling letters hidden in a locked drawer. The children loved her. She introduced them to the butterfly garden, championed the school play, and in the spring term of 2023, she launched a new mind health program. Everything seemed fine. But within that year, something shifted. Among her pupils was 10-year-old Tommy Wilson, bright, a budding artist whose parents entrusted Helen implicitly. On 8th April, just 4 days before the massacre, Helen called Tommy's mother to say he'd drawn something disturbing, a figure with hollow eyes, labeled "My Savior." The mother dismissed it as child imagination, but it was the first of a series of omissions she would later regret. In the staff room, Helen had begun to behave differently. She requested sole supervision of the butterfly garden, skipped lunch, and when asked about her divorce, she muttered, "Some doors should stay closed." Investigators later found Helen's phone logs. Between midnight and 2 a.m. on 11th April, she made 6 calls to a number registered to Aaron Blake, a self-help guru from London known for radical mind control workshops. The school had no record of any collaboration. On 12th of April at 8:50 a.m., Helen turned on her classroom projector and played a 3-minute silent loop of a monochrome kaleidoscope design. The children watched, confused. Some frowned. One teacher noticed but left to get coffee. Why didn't she intervene? At 09:12 a.m., Helen excused herself to the staff toilet. CCTV logs show her staring into the mirror, just pasting on that friendly smile. When she returned, she announced, "Today we go on an inner journey." The children gathered around her. 5 minutes later, the unimaginable began. At 09:17, the bell rang. Helen instructed the class to lie down on the carpet. She told them to close their eyes and imagine the butterfly garden. The lights went off. In the darkness, Helen pulled from her bag a small vial with a dark liquid. She told the children to breathe slowly. One of the children, Tommy, opened his eyes. He saw Helen's eyes glisten. He tried to ask a question but couldn't. By 09:20, the first child collapsed. By 09:22, 6 pupils lay motionless. Helen dialed 999, saying, "They are asleep forever." Paramedics arrived at 09:23. By 09:30, the classroom was sealed. The town of Summerfield was changed forever. News outlets flooded in. Parents waited anxiously outside the school gates. Community grief echoed down every street. Helen was taken into custody without resistance. Investigators found in her drawer the counseling letters, the phone logs, the vials bottle, labeled Compound X, experimental, not licensed. The big question, was Helen a mad woman acting alone, or was she part of something far darker? Detective Sarah Malik led the investigation. She uncovered emails between Helen and Aaron Blake dating back 6 months, promises of awakening the next stage of evolution. Blake's seminars had urged participants to shed old attachments and embrace final sleep. Forensic lab analysis revealed the vial's contents were a rare neurotoxin derived from a plant found only in South America. Helen's divorce court files revealed she had borrowed $50,000 in the year before 2023. She told friends it was for a silent retreat, but no retreat paperwork existed. Then the twist. Aaron Blake disappeared on 13th April. His known residence was empty, his social accounts wiped. A manifesto was found on his server. When the children sleep, the world awakens. During the trial, Helen testified that she believed she was chosen to liberate innocents and guide them to the next plane. The jury found her guilty of 6 counts of murder, sentencing her to life with minimum 32 years. But the investigations uncovered something else. The vial bottle had numbers etched on it, linked to a secret UK-based wellness company under investigation for illegal neuroproduct distribution. The company remains unprosecuted. So the question remains, was Helen the mastermind or just the fall guy? In spring 2024, the families of the victims formed the Summerfield Innocence Foundation, campaigning for tighter regulation of alternative wellness products in schools. On the butterfly garden where Helen led the lesson stands a new plaque. For lives so brief, may our vigilance be eternal. And yet, the original vial code remains classified by the UK Home Office, the company's name redacted. So here's what you need to ask yourself. How many wellness programs in schools have hidden agendas? How often do charismatic gurus recruit in innocence, then exploit trust? And most importantly, who watches the watchers? If you're still thinking about this story in the morning, you're not alone. Because real terror doesn't come from horror movies. It comes from trusted voices in quiet rooms. Thanks for watching Whisperverse. If you believe someone you know might be vulnerable, talk, share, stay alert, and subscribe. Because next week we dig into another story you'll never forget.